What is up, guys? Today we're going to be regrading every single offseason trade that was big, and we are going to be regrading them. Now, what I did was I pulled up a article from December 3rd, so this was about 4 months ago, and we are about 20 games into the season when this article was posted, and I'm just going to kind of react to what they were saying then, and then I'm going to give my take on it now. So obviously, we have to start off with one of the biggest trades this entire season, Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic. Now, I don't really agree with this article right off the bat because I wasn't a huge fan of this Desmond Bane trade when it happened, and early into the season, I wasn't a big fan of it either. And now I'm not a big fan of it really at all. They give it a B here. I would definitely give it a C. Just personally, I am not a big fan of this Magic team, and I think they threw away a lot of their future for Desmond Bane. Now, Desmond Bane is a great player, don't get me wrong, but I just don't know if this team, as currently constructed, could even win anything. I'm not high on them this season. I don't think they can go into the playoffs and really surprise me because I've just seen them lose too many games against good teams. And now that is not really Desmond Bane's fault. They've been a little bit injured, which happens every single year. And it feels like their offense is still just not that good. Their shooting is just not that good. And I think that does not fall into the hands of Desmond Bane, but it falls into the hands of the people making the team and also the two stars on this team who play extremely similar. And I don't really like them on the same court together, but blah, blah. It's a talk for another day. Now, like I said, I would give this trade a C. Just personally, I think they did give up too much of their future for somebody like Desmond Bane. Now, like they are saying in this article, if maybe he does have a good playoff run and he helps them win a series, I'd maybe put it back to a B, but it doesn't really, I don't really see it getting to an A for me. Now, on the Grizzlies side of things, it's definitely still a A. I mean, they are in full rebuild mode. We will see Ja Morant get traded away or just get bought out in general if he does not have a market this offseason, in my opinion. Now, like this article is saying, Cedric Howard does look like a real NBA player who could be something someday, so that's already amazing. And then they have a few more picks after that. Pair this with the JJJ trade, and they have a bright future. Now, on to the second biggest, or the honestly biggest trade this offseason, the Kevin Durant trade. Every single time the Houston Rockets play, I just can't take my mind off of this trade. Now, personally, I am very high on this trade. I would keep this at a B. Now, obviously, I don't believe that the Rockets are currently in a place to contend, but I made a video on them not too long ago saying I think this season is kind of wasted because they did not make a move for a real point guard at the deadline, and a nice Rockets fan came and told me that not really. I mean, they have a lot ahead of them. And even if Kevin Durant doesn't really get anything in his tenure here and he has to retire a Rocket and they build forward after that, they still have a bright future. And I mean, after doing my own research, I kind of agree with him. This is kind of a no loss trade. You do lose Dylan Brooks, who I mean, is pretty amazing, but he's not a as prolific of a scorer as Kevin Durant, even though he was playing amazing before he went down with that hand stuff. Obviously, Kevin Durant has his issues right now. He's dealing with double teams. I think that was the recent controversy. Is he's like, I gotta give the ball to other people to dribble so I don't get double teams. Like, just pass out of it. You should know that, but whatever. Now, on the Suns side of things, I really like this. Jalen Green has not looked bad in the games that I've seen of him, and obviously Dylan Brooks has basically blossomed into a real star, it feels like. Once he comes back, if he comes back, I don't really know if he's going to come back this season. They look pretty decent. 5 second round picks is not bad. Also, I like this trade. I definitely still give it a B. Overall, this is a pretty even trade for what they wanted. Now, on to the next one that we're going to talk about. Inevitably, you have to talk about this trade. Now, I've kind of seen the talk about this trade die down over the past little bit. I still completely hate this trade for New Orleans. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not very high on Derek Queen as your center of the future, or even your power forward of the future. Pair that along with some of the other players that you've grabbed where you want them to be a part of your future, like, I don't know, Zion or Fears or anything like that. I just don't really see the fit together. And maybe it's just because I'm not a Pelicans fan, but I don't know. Let me know. Because this just, I mean, they say it in the article, but it seems like malpractice. And if I was the Hawks, I'd be jumping for joy right now because they suck, clearly. This will be a pretty good pick in a pretty loaded draft class. There's not really much I can say about it anymore that you have not heard. I mean, Derek Queen is a good player so far. He definitely has potential. He's very, very talented, but we're just going to have to see who they get with this pick because this could definitely turn out extremely bad for them. And honestly, I don't know. With who's in the top of this draft, I would have almost not wanted a good player last draft if I was the Pelicans, or at least not a player that is instantly good, right? Because I wanted a chance at one of the top picks this year. So honestly, I agree. It's definitely still a A, and I wouldn't really put it as a F minus. I'd probably put it as a D because I mean, you did get Derek Queen, who, like I said, is very talented. So I can't say this is a complete failure, but I don't know. Now on to the fourth trade that we're going to be talking about today. This one we have to talk about because currently the Nuggets are they're kind of iffy here. And what they gave up was pretty detrimental to their future. Now, I was pretty high on this trade when it happened. I like Cam Johnson. I definitely had my fears about this trade, and so far, those fears have definitely started to show a little bit. Michael Porter Jr. is playing amazing out in Brooklyn. Nobody traded for him, which is crazy. Somebody will definitely trade for him this offseason, I believe, personally, as long as his value isn't too high. But ultimately, what you want out of this trade is that 2032 first round pick because you don't know where Jokic is going to be at that point. That could definitely be a top pick. Ultimately, it's just like kind of iffy. We're definitely gonna have to wait until the playoffs so I can fully grade this trade because this was a playoff trade. We haven't really seen this team fully healthy. Aaron Gordon is coming back, everyone's ramping up. Hopefully, we can see a fully healthy team, and he actually looks like a pretty great player, but so far, it just hasn't really been the best fit so far because he just does not play like Michael Porter Jr. Nobody does. So I definitely agree. I would definitely grade this a D currently. I think I could definitely push it up to a C or a B depending on how Cam Johnson does moving into the postseason here. And then the Nets, I don't know, B or A is definitely how I feel right now. I think had to get off Cam Johnson, and I think that pick in general is just good compensation. Now, this one, the last trade that we will talk about in this video today, the Heat trade, where it was a three-team trade where Norman Powell got ultimately rerouted. Now, at the start of the season, I really was just mad at the Clippers in general for trading away Norman Powell. Obviously, I understood why they did it. He is not a part of the future and salary cap, blah, 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 whatever. But I was still disappointed because I loved him on this team. But so far, throughout the rest of this season so far, I've loved him on the Heat. Now, obviously, just going over this, Miami Heat got Norman Powell, the Clippers got John Collins, and the Utah Jazz got Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, which is basically nothing. At least for them, they didn't play him. And then a second round pick. He looks amazing so far, and I could definitely see him being a reliable guard for the Miami Heat for the time being. I could definitely see him staying there over Hero. The Clippers did give him up. I'm still pretty mad about that, but I do like their new look right now. I feel like I'm the only person who is actually high on the Clippers right now. I like Garland on that team. I like Matherin on that team. Kawhi's playing amazing. They do have John Collins. He's been playing. There's a few other players who are playing pretty good on that team that I'd put above John Collins, but he's still, I definitely give the Heat a A. I'd give the Clippers a C. I'll give them a little more leeway because I can understand why they did the deal. And then I'm not even going to grade the Utah Jazz because they kind of didn't really do anything here. They were just a facilitator. So yeah, how do you feel? Do you think I got this right? Do you have any disagreements with me? This was pretty fun to do. I would like to react to articles a little bit more, so tell me if you're interested in these types of videos. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this. Thank you and have a good night. See you next time.